Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Kampai Sagai podcast. Guys, before we start, I actually want to give a shout out to Light Sleepers. A lot of people ask me about this shirt, which is, if you guys know the old Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition game, this is kind of a homage to that. And I just want to give a shout out to Light Sleepers, Cavit, the Catalyst. Light Sleeper is one of my favorite brands. I love that brand. They have so much great stuff. Cavit's a great guy as well. Great local guy. So please support him. Follow him on IG. And check out his products. I mean, the guy is legit. He's super cool. So yeah, shout outs to Light Sleeper. Shout outs to Cavit. All right. So today we have very special guest. Technically my neighbor.
Yes.
And, I'm sober for this one, which is great, because I did a lot of research. I want to make sure I get things right. But we have a lot to talk about, and you're a very interesting man, which is, we'll get into that. A lot of interesting stories. But yeah, we can talk about things. I don't know if the camera switched to you yet because you're wearing a Jewish garment, which is part of your act. But
right.
Guys, I just want to introduce comedian, someone who's been in the media business for 26 years, honestly, and someone who's very he's also a writer. You're a writer as well.
Yes.
But very involved with different positions and understand the ins and outs of businesses. I just want to introduce you. And please give a round of applause for Mark Miyashiro.
Thank you. My stage name is called The Unemployed Comic.
Okay.
Hawaii's first Okinawan Jewish comic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unemployed comic. So
Right.
why unemployed comic?
Well, until I get my next gig, I'm unemployed.
Okay. So you're always hustling then?
Oh, yes. I have 8 part-time jobs.
Okay.
Yeah. We can go that later.
That's a lot of jobs.
Yes.
I got one full-time job, So,
Yeah.
Well, how do you balance that? Let's get into that. How do you balance, 8 full-time or 8 part-time jobs?
Right.
Trying to go into being an unemployed comic.
Right,
Because you're an unemployed
right.
comic right now.
Right.
Hopefully employed comic later.
Right.
How do you balance all that? First of all?
I usually don't sleep.
Okay.
I can only sleep for like 3 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm sitting up thinking about stuff for my act.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it's role play. You know what I mean? I have one job that I go to Costco and I do food products.
Okay.
So-
Like the testing,
Passing out samples.
passing out samples.
Right.
Nice.
Okay, so, I pitch them. So at the same time, I kind of practice my stand-up.
Mm.
And I have another job at the NEX. And I sell mattresses there.
Okay.
And that's another place, a venue for me to practice my stand-up. So basically 12 hours at Costco and 12 hours at the NEX. So
Okay.
the rest of the time I do, side jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I have my books, try to promote my books. I have a ad on the commercial, on the radio for oldies and K-Rock.
Okay.
The classic rock, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm pitching my Olympic Grill, the first book that I wrote.
Right. We'll get into that.
Okay. And then I have 4 books that's on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Like Olympic Grill is in ebook, audiobook, and paperback.
Mm-hmm.
The other 3 are all ebooks. So I had like 8 years where I couldn't write. So I had the first 3 books. Yeah, that was no problem. It was the 4th book. I couldn't write for 8 years. I had writer's block.
Okay.
So this past March, I finally did it. And it's how I published my book for under $356.
Okay.
And then at one point, I was doing online teaching, how to self-publish your books. But I had no response, so I kind of gave that up. Yeah. What else shall I say? Shall I, talk about, I do ethnic humor?
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
right now you're dressed up in a Jewish, traditional Jewish garment.
Right.
And you are Jewish as well.
Right.
You attend a Jewish church.
Yes. I go to synagogue. Yeah, Friday nights.
Friday nights.
Yeah, we call it shul. Shul. I don't know if shul is a
How do you spell that?
shule.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's a Yiddish term or a Hebrew term.
Okay.
Anyway, I can begin by saying Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kasanu v'tzivanu b'mitzvitah.
It's really good.
which translates, if I might not have all the words right, but in general, this is what it translates as. Blessed are you, Lord our God, eternal King of the universe, who blesses and sanctifies his people, who brought forth bread from the earth.
Huh.
And I don't know, I was going to sing a song before I did that, but maybe later on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that how they begin service, maybe?
We begin with prayer.
Begin with prayer?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a traditional Jewish prayer you guys start
Well,
with? Or?
like the lighting of candles is a prayer. The serving of what you guys call the communion, which is the matzah and grape juice. Yeah, we have one for the matzah, the bread, and one for the grape juice. So,
how about, so I had this question, I was wondering about Sabbats.
Yeah, Shabbat.
Right?
Yeah.
Shabbat.
Yeah.
So what is the correct day?
Okay, so Friday from 3 p.m.
Okay.
to sunset Saturday.
So when is sunset Saturday? It could just be any time, or is it?
Well, depending on the weather, right?
Right.
When the sun sets that day.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been to Israel 3 times, and they don't drive around. Only half the elevators work in the hotels.
Okay.
So they take Shabbat seriously there. Yeah, and it's kind of rough because you know how Okinawans they like their pork.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's difficult being an Okinawan, And speaking about being an Okinawan, we're like the Jewish of Japan.
Okay.
Okay. So I was told, you Okinawans, you guys are lazy, you guys are womanizers, you guys are gamblers, and that's all the good stuff they talk about us.
Okay.
And then every year we have what you call the Okinawan Festival, right? Usually in Waikiki or Kapiolani Park. It used to be the
Or
old place.
Temple Valley.
Yeah. Okay, so they have what is called the hairy chest contest,
Okay.
and that's for women.
Okay.
So I just want to relate this. When I was dating my wife,
Okay.
I wanted to make a good impression on her, right?
Okay.
So
I don't know where this is going.
well, just let me.
Okay.
Okay. So in the beginning, you wanna jump her bones, but you wanna get her know her first, right?
Okay.
Okay. So I try to be nice to her, take her out to a nice place, right? And then all of a sudden, I start getting gas pain,
Okay.
And then, oh man, next thing I know, I let out one big one, and it was like a cheeseburger with skid marks.
Okay. Which restaurant? Let's just say.
I think it was Chris Ruth or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. So I let out this big one, and then she says, "What was that?"
Or Roots Chris.
So
right,
I'm
yeah.
thinking real fast. Oh, that's the Okinawan love call.
Okay.
So let me talk about when I was 5. Okay, you got to visualize this. Okay, I'm 5 years old. Okay,
5 years old.
I'm living at 1552 Kewalo Street. Okay, so the supermarket is around the corner.
Okay.
And then my mom gives me money and sends me down to the store, a couple blocks away. Okay, so she gave me money to buy sanitary napkins. Now, this is like 1960, 61, okay? Let me see. Oh, no, 1959, because I was 5. Okay, I was born in 54. So I don't know if you ever seen this, but they have this kind of big box, And I guess the mainland people call it modest, but local people,
Modest.
local people
Okay.
call it modest. Okay, so I got this big box, 2 feet by 3 feet,
Okay.
and I'm walking home from the store, and I put the box on my head
Okay.
and walking down the street. Can you imagine with this box of modest?
Right,
you
5
know,
year-
5 years
5
old.
years old.
Right.
Right.
So everybody's going, oh, look at a kid with the modest on his head walking down the street. And my mom's totally embarrassed. You got to put the box on your head and walk to us. You know what I mean? That's what happened.
That's kind of like my dad.
Oh, yeah?
Well, my dad he was born in 1947. So
Okay.
He's a lot he's a lot older.
Yeah,
Well, he's
yeah.
not a lot older, but he is older. He lived Manoa side,
Right.
but he was very he was kind of Kolohe in a way.
Yeah.
You would
Yeah.
maybe stuff like that.
Oh, okay. This happened when I was 4 years old. Okay, I'm gonna jump all over the place
Okay.
about my stories. Okay,
All right.
I was about 4 years old, and I think we went into a store at Ainahana Shopping Center, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Okay, so my mom's shopping in this grocery store or Foodland Times or I forget what a big supermarket. Okay, so all of a sudden she notices I'm gone. She lost me, right? So then she searches the whole store and then she finds me. And there I am holding hands with this blonde girl with the midriff showing her pico, her
Okay.
belly button.
Okay.
And I'm holding hands with her.
All right.
So ever since then I had a weakness for blondes.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But
Wait,
I
so
didn't
was your wife blonde before?
No.
Really?
So
Okay. Interesting.
maybe I talk a little bit about my wife.
Okay.
Okay. Let me bring up a couple stuff. Okay. She has 3 brothers. Okay?
Yes.
I'm gonna talk about 2 of them. Okay. One of them, we got a call saying that he overdosed.
Okay.
Okay. So the hospital asked. According to him, he got these pills off of her medicine cabinet. So could you check to see what it was? So we checked to see what it was. It was birth control pills.
Birth control. Okay.
Yes. And then her other brother, his nickname is Termite. I thought it was, back then they used to have rattan furniture and people used to unravel the wrapping.
All right.
No, but according to my wife, he actually, at the year and a half, started chewing on wooden furniture. Okay?
So termite. Okay.
Termite was his nickname.
Okay.
And then, let me see, getting back to my wife, okay. We had, Japanese called miyai, arranged marriage. Okay, I was 35 years old, right? I had prayed for 12 years for a wife. No success. I went to church, I went to social clubs, no success, okay? So finally, this lady that was my mom's business partner called Colleen's mom
Okay.
and said, "Oh, I get this nice Japanese boy. I want to know if your daughter Colleen is available." And she says, "Well, Colleen doesn't have a husband or a boyfriend, so maybe we should get the 2 of them together." So we set up an arrangement. In 6 weeks, we were engaged, and then I wanted to adopt Colleen's older girl. So we have
Okay.
2 daughters, right?
Yes.
So before I asked her for a hand in marriage, I said, "Can I adopt Kulani?" So anyway, what I did was, when I went to the first date, I went to Shirokia and I bought this pencil case
Okay.
and I gave it to her. And Colleen was so impressed because she was thinking, "Man, this guy knows it's a package deal. If you get me, you get my daughter."
Okay.
So she knew I was sincere about the arrangement. Yeah. So we've been together for 32 years.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. We just made 32 years, November 18th.
Wow. Hey, congratulations.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's a long
Yeah.
time. 32
And then
years.
we had a second. 2 years later, after we got married, we had my younger daughter. I only have 2 daughters, and she went to Castle. And then, they told me I gotta go in the labor room, and I'm like, "Oh man, you gotta be joking, I cannot handle that,
Okay.
So anyway, she told me, come here. Go away. Come here. Go away. She said, I'm in so much pain, you know.
Okay.
She's screaming, you know. Oh, I said, I just got to go to the restroom. She said, you cannot. You got to hold my hand. You got to be here for me.
Okay.
So that's what happened with my second daughter. And then,
Okay.
my second daughter, she said to me, Dad, being Okinawan, because they're mixed here just like poi dogs. They're Hawaiian, Irish, English, Spanish. And my second daughter is Okinawan. So she says, oh, Dad, I don't like this whole idea about being Okinawan because so hairy. You know what I mean? And I have a lot of afflictions, yeah?
Okay.
We can talk about this one first. I have schizophrenia.
Right.
Okay. So I was diagnosed with schizophrenia in 2001. However, I had it when I was 17. Okay? Now, at 17...
How did they determine that, though?
I guess because I have two things. I hear voices and I have grand delusions. Delusions of grandeur.
Right.
That's why I have 8 jobs. I think I can do everything. I think I'm Superman. You know what I mean? So I have...
Versus me who has one full-time job. Right,
So,
okay.
okay, so where was I now? So when I was
Schizophrenia.
17,
Okay.
Okay, so I moved out of the house at 17. I rented a room from my aunt. And I was working 2 jobs. I was working one job for my mom doing a crack seed store. And we pack crack seed, lihimui and arade and tsukemono, tsukudani, stuff like that. Okay, I did that job since I was 13. The reason why I did that job is because I was doing pakalo. So my mom wanted to keep an eye on me. So I was forced to work at 13. So by the time I hit 17...
Wait, so you were doing pakalolo at 13?
13, yeah.
What's the reason?
Hey, that was the thing back then.
Okay, yeah.
69, bro. Yeah. I don't know about you, but in
Crazy
69, that, Woodstock in August.
I'll ask my dad about that.
Okay.
I'll ask my dad what he was doing at 69.
Okay. So getting back to that, I left home at 17. So I rented a room for, I think it was $75 from my aunt. I bought a car. I bought a Toyota Corolla station wagon.
Okay.
I think it was $2,600, and I paid for my car insurance. So it was getting towards the end of my.
Oh, it's quite a bit back then.
Yeah. So
600.
but I was paying monthly, right?
Okay.
So was coming towards graduation. Okay. So back then they used to have called SAT exam. So
I still do that.
they
right?
still do that?
They still
Okay.
do.
So
Yeah.
I didn't do so well. So I had 450 verbal and 350 math. So the counselor, the high school counselor at Kaimuki, told me, "You're not eligible to go college. You better go find a trade skill or something." But me here, Okinawan, hard head, no take no for an answer. I apply anyway.
Okay.
So they give you three colleges for free. Yeah, they send the scores out, and you can apply for the different colleges. So I don't know why, but I thought of Raquel Welch going to UCLA, so I did that one. I put in one for there, and then I was a Mormon when I was 10, 11 years old. So I went BYU, I put one in for there.
Okay.
And then the third one was UH Manoa. So the only only school that accepted me was UH Manoa. Okay, so like I said, I was working 2 jobs, right? So I was going to school part-time. Okay, so it took me approximately 5.5 years to graduate. But I did graduate, okay? So, I first started off as a religion/philosophy major, okay? But then I came to the realization, what kind of job can I do unless I'm a PhD and teach, right? Religion, philosophy major, right?
True.
Okay, so one day, I'm going to tell you what happened this one day. I was taking a logic class, Logic 203 or something.
Okay.
So the professor wrote a book and then that's the book we used for the class.
Mhm.
Okay. All of a sudden,
Oh, that's interesting because my philosophy teacher also wrote kind of a book.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then we went off of his book.
yeah.
But yeah, sorry, keep going.
Okay, so one day I saw this beautiful girl, and she was absolutely stunning. I couldn't resist her. So I followed her into Hamilton Library, okay? And being the sly guy that I am, I sat right next to her in the booth, right? And then I think, oh, what am I going to do now? I'll talk to her, but I like her phone number, you know? So I push the book, and the thing falls down. And she grabs the book, and she says, is this your book? I said, oh, yeah. I said, oh, look, you give a logic book, too.
Oh, so you had tricks. Yeah.
Right. I was a sly guy, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I dropped the book, she picked them up, and then next thing I know, I found out her name. She's half Chinese, half French, you know.
Interesting mix.
Yeah.
Hoppa.
Yeah. Oh, she was so beautiful. I couldn't resist her. So I started talking to her, and she had dreams of being like Mary Tyler Moore. She wanted to be a news producer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So eventually, down the road, like in 79, I meet up with her at KHON TV. But getting back to UH, so I pursued her. I never got to date her. Okay. So eventually, I worked from KITV to Kiku TV, then to KHON, and then back to Kiku TV. But when I was at KHON, she was there from 79 to 80. And she was doing promotions for KHON. Okay. Oh, it was a hard time for me because my mom had filed bankruptcy.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was a very hard time for me. Okay. But getting back to this girl.
Wait. So while you're in college,
Yeah.
she filed bankruptcy.
No. After.
Oh, after.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So I was pursuing this girl. She wouldn't go out with me. No matter how, I found her phone number. They used to have a directory. So I look it up, I call her,
Okay.
And, it's all one-sided. It's all infatuation,
Okay.
And I still hard-hit. I don't accept that. You know what I mean? I still say I'm going to date her someday, So eventually, she got married to a Chinese guy.
Okay.
Last name Gu. And then she moved to,
So you didn't tell her how you felt or anything?
I did.
Oh, you did?
But she wouldn't ever go out
Oh,
with
she
me.
never- okay.
Yeah. So she picked another guy, who,
Okay.
last name Gu, a Chinese guy.
All right.
So they moved to Cincinnati.
So you got into journalism? TV
No.
journalism. Okay.
It was called telecommunications back then.
Okay.
So it was broadcasting, television, and radio production.
And at UH Manoa, is that
Yes.
what you
Yes.
went into?
Yeah.
And
So,
then
yeah.
transferred
So a
into
lot
it.
of my humor, I said, you got to visualize, yeah?
Okay.
And I can't shake the idea that my radio professor, Dr. Richard Ryder, he told me, radio is the theater of the mind. Okay. So,
Interesting. I like that.
My schizophrenia, I used to hear voices telling me all kinds of stuff. Here I am, 17, going to UH as a freshman. The voices helped me write the term papers. Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
amazing,
Yeah.
And then one of my English literature professor told me, you have a gift. You have a gift for writing. And I never considered myself a writer, but when I was 14, this is a sad story. My mom wanted me to be a writer. And I was so distraught at 14, I tried committing suicide. I took sleeping pills and I hung myself. But the rope came free and I lived. Okay. So getting back to the story, yeah? I'm sorry, but I jump all over the place.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Your life story right there.
Yeah. So anyway, I never got the girl, and then I ended up majoring in television and
Yeah.
because when I was in high school at Kaimuki, I used to like girls, just no secret, right? I used to take photos, so I thought, running a television camera, that's similar, And then when I was at Kaimuki High School, I was the host for a closed circuit TV. And I remember we did several shows, but I remember doing the concert for Bangladesh. I think it was 1971, I think, or 70, I don't know. I was the host for that show. So, I did hosting, yeah? And even now, like I'll do some extra work. I'll do some acting and stuff like that. Basically, this whole thing is an act.
Okay.
Yeah? I play in a role,
Right.
which is, local comic, talking about ethnic things, And I usually tell people, my comedy is kosher comedy. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Kosher comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, clean. I don't bring up all the bad stuff. I refrain from profanity.
Right.
So it's a clean act,
Kosher comedy.
Kosher comedy, yeah. I told you.
I like that. Yeah.
Okinawa Jew, right?
Right.
So,
No pork, right?
last year, I couldn't shake this finding out about my Hebrew roots. In that book, Olympic Grill, I'll discuss the Hebrew roots. But getting back to last year, I finally found a DNA company called Living DNA. Okay, so they went back about 3,000 years, and I found out my mom had red hair, and she was extremely fair. Okay, they even showed the map of the migration. My mom came from Siberia, Russia, and in Siberia, Russia, 75% of the people there are Ashkenazi Jews. So, like they say, if your mom's Jewish, you're Jewish. You know what I mean? And then on a side note, my ever-grandma, she died 101 years old, in 93. Okay, my ever-grandma, she had blue eyes. So, you know what? In Okinawa, some sailor had a good time in Okinawa. Because how does a Okinawan get blue eyes? And then they had tattoos all over the hand too. The different prefectures would have different tattoos all over the hand. They did that because they didn't want men to rape the girls. So they, made them look kind of ugly or whatever. But
Okay.
I don't know. To me, they all look like monkeys anyway.
Oh gosh. Okay.
So let me see.
Wait. So let's circle back a bit. So
Okay.
your mother's side was
Yes.
Jewish.
Right.
So your dad's Okinawan then.
Right.
let's just say.
Okay. Now getting back to that. Okay. So when I was first grade and I went to Lincoln School, this is what happened. Okay. You can ask your dad about this. Every year they would have you fill out a federal survey card. Okay. So one of the questions on the federal survey card is, what is your mom's maiden name? Okay. So my mom is a Miyashiro, and she married Steve Miyashiro. So I'm Miyashiro on my mom's side, and I'm Miyashiro on my father's side.
Wait. So she was also Okinawan then.
Yes.
So she was Okinawan and Jewish.
Yes.
So interesting.
Yeah.
So was your dad full Okinawan then?
Yes. My dad was full Okinawan,
Oh,
and my mom was
pretty
full
rare.
Okinawan. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. So let me see. Oh,
Federal survey card.
Yeah, okay. So let me do that one first. Okay.
Okay.
The federal survey card, I put down Miyashiro. Okay. So Mrs. Sakuma, my first grade teacher, she read that and she says, "You're a liar. Go in the broom closet," and she locked me in there. I forget how long I was in there.
Okay.
So I cried. I was traumatically affected by that.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
First grade,
Interesting.
So then about 2 weeks later, Mrs. Sakuma comes to the house and she says to us, here's a pie as my apology to you, because I found out that Mark was telling the truth, that your last name maiden name is Miyashiro. Yeah?
No, it's strange. That's why, because
Yes.
because your mom's Miyashiro, your
Yeah.
dad's Miyashiro,
Yeah.
but they're not, and they're both Okinawan.
Right.
That's why it's such a strange.
Yeah.
It's such a strange occurrence.
Yeah. And getting back to my grandma, I used to call her the Ever Grandma, yeah? Because they lived in Ever.
Okay.
Okay, so when I was about 4 years old, she used to give me 50 cents for ice cream. So I would go down the street and buy ice cream for 50 cents. So 1983, I visited her in LA, Boyles Heights, in a nursing home. She gave me $5.
Okay. Well, lots of ice cream.
Yeah. So I tell Grandma, oh, you know about inflation, yeah, Grandma? Yeah. So,
Yeah, now it's $10 for ice cream.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. So, anyway, I was punished, for telling the truth. And that always happens, seems to happen for me.
So so she judged you basically
Right,
from that.
right.
Oh, interesting.
And then getting back
So
to
yeah, she is in the wrong. For that,
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
So getting back to the Miyashiro name. Okay, the immigration guy, I don't know if he was lazy or what, but he made all us guys Miyashiro. You look at the kanji. Because if you go back to Okinawa, I'm Miyagi. My last name is Miyagi. So that's what I am. If I go to Okinawa, I'm Miyagi.
But here you're Miyashiro.
Miyashiro, yeah.
Interesting.
So, you know that song, Glenn Miyashiro?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Kaimuki High School. I graduated late. I didn't have, later on, I
So
got...
Frank DeLima was correct then.
No, he should have said Mark Miyashiro. there's 5 of us. Yeah.
Well, what about the Glenn Miyashiros then?
I don't think... Well, I know one guy, but that was it. I mean, look how many Mark Miyashiros get. And you know how close... I found out when I was in high school, had this guy, his name was Mark Miyashiro, and he graduated same year as me because he's born in the same year.
That is so weird.
Okay?
Yeah.
1954.
Okay.
But he was born in November. I'm born in November. And if I'm not mistaken, he was born November 20th, and I was born November 29th.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. So, later on, I got...
Well, what about his parents?
I don't know. I've been trying to look him up, but
Okay.
no success. Yeah.
weird.
So anyway, what was I gonna say? So there's 5 Mark Miyashiros. Okay, so that guy is just one of the 5. The only thing is, I think his middle name is a K. So Mark K Miyashiro,
Okay.
and I'm Mark M Miyashiro. So my middle name is Morinobu. Okay, so the way they did this was they took from my grandfather, his name was Kamemori, okay, and my father's name is Noboru. So they took Mori from his name and they put Nobu, so I became Morinobu.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you
So
go
Mark Morinobu
right,
Miyashiro.
Miyashiro, yeah.
All M's.
Right.
Interesting.
So my email is markmmiyashiro at gmail.
You just put triple M at gmail.com if you want.
Yeah. So that's what happened. So let me see. Where can I continue on this?
So talked about the 5 Mark Miyashiros.
Right.
Glenn Miyashiro.
Right.
That whole
Right.
parody.
Parody of the song, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the teacher. She gave the pie.
Yeah.
Right. She
Yeah.
was in the wrong.
Right.
For judging you.
Right.
Based on
Me saying the truth.
you saying the truth.
Right.
Which, honestly, I mean, that's such a weird occurrence.
Right.
That your mom's last name Miyashiro.
Miyashiro,
Dad's
yeah.
last name Miyashiro.
Yeah.
She was also Jewish-Okinawan, and your dad's
Right.
full-blooded Okinawan, which,
Right.
honestly, full-blooded Okinawan
Yeah.
is very rare.
Was that right?
Like, these days, I think.
Because
Maybe back then, it's not as rare.
because my cousins, my first cousins, they're 100% too.
That's interesting. Wow.
Yeah. But the other cousins, maybe 50%. One side is Okinawan. One side is, I guess, Japanese.
So why is that for like Okinawans? How come people describe them like as hairier? Let's just say. Is it because of certain environments or?
Well, this is what I gather. Basically, now check this out. It's the Portuguese and the Chinese, and ethnically, that's what makes an Okinawan.
Okay.
So it's the Chinese with the Portuguese. Because if you look, Portuguese, they get malasares, right? What is the Okinawan answer to that? Andagi. There you go.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, my grandfather, Kamemori Miyashiro, when he became a citizen, he changed his name to Mark Kamemori Miyashiro. So when he died in 73, the UH art building, because what he did was he would sponsor these local Nisei artists and he would buy their artwork at gallery showings. And they questioned him, the artist. Why Miya-san, why are you paying high price for my artwork? I could just give it to you at a very low cost. He says, you don't understand. I buy so that people recognize your talent. So at the Kuhio Grill, which is what Olympic Grill is about,
Okay.
he would have artwork. And I think he was the first guy that would have artwork in his restaurant.
Okay.
And so some people would come and enjoy the artwork. So my grandfather, Mark Kamemori Miyashiro, he had 3 restaurants: Alakea Grill, Olympic Grill, and Kuhio Grill. So Olympic Grill is the story of Kuhio Grill, but I changed the name.
Oh, just to give people context, Olympic Grill was written by you.
Right.
You published it back in
2013.
2013. Okay.
Right. July 5th.
Okay.
Yeah.
July 5th. Sorry, I just wanted to give some context,
Yeah.
just so people can
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
And then also, go ahead, talk about Olympic
So,
Grill. All right.
I used the name Olympic Grill because the staff were all different ethnic backgrounds. It's like the Olympics. There was Vietnamese, there was a Korean, there was this lady from Bombay, India, there was a Hawaiian, there was a Filipino, there was Japanese, there was Okinawan, all these ethnic backgrounds. So I felt using the name Olympic Grill was more catchy than Kuhio Grill. Plus, I wanted to protect myself.
Right. So Kuhio Grill had these different
All these different, and I worked,
ethnicities.
right, and I worked there from 68 to 76. So, what you call, Magoon family.
68. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So Magoon family. Well, Olympic Grill is 1969. Okay.
Okay.
So Magoon family owned the land. We only leased the property. So they wanted us to build another building on the land. But when the lease is up, they get the building for free. So my uncles decided to get out in 77. Okay. And let me go back to my grandfather. His father was drafted in 1905, I believe. And he was a principal, language, like Japanese language principal.
Okay.
Okay, so he got shot in the cheek.
Dang.
Yeah, he got shot in the
All
cheek.
right.
There's a hole there, right? And then the bullet landed on his tongue and knocked out the tooth.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. So he never.
Why did he get shot?
In the Russo-Japanese War in 1905?
Okay. Oh.
So he never wanted his sons to serve in the Japanese military. So he sent them to Hawaii to avoid the draft. Yeah. So that's what happened there. Yeah. So.
Okay. So going back to Olympic Grill.
Right.
Let's kind of build off of that story. The
Okay.
main character, is it? You want to talk about main character?
Okay. The main character is a dishwasher. Okay.
Right.
So in the back cover of my book, it talks about Amos, the dishwasher, and I try to use Jewish names, like from the Bible, the Book of Amos.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, he looks through the kitchen portals.
Okay.
Before they used to have the swinging portals. So you'd kick the door and then, make sure nobody on the other side carrying dishes or whatever, yeah? So he looks through the kitchen portals and he's observing life. So that's like the description. And he has, he's afflicted with a mental illness, right? So it makes it a little more twisted.
Schizophrenic?
Schizophrenic, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, an average day with schizophrenia, I would say, is like in the animal kingdom, about 3 steps above plant life. So basically, a worm. I'm a useless eater. That's how you feel being a schizophrenic.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's terrible. You hear voices. You have delusions of grandeur. People don't know how to handle you. Yeah, so I live with that. That was one of my afflictions.
Do movies like
A Beautiful Mind?
Beautiful Mind, or
Yes.
even Joker.
Right.
Do they do that justice in a way, like describing that?
I would say Beautiful Mind.
Okay, Beautiful
Yeah.
Mind.
Yeah. So when I went to prison, I didn't want a prison ministry, but God gave me a prison ministry in 2009, you know. So,
Right, you went to federal prison.
yeah, Federal Detention Center by the Honolulu Airport.
Yeah, and you have pictures.
Yeah, yeah, I have pictures
You
of
do
that.
have pictures.
Yeah, yeah.
We I don't know if we can show those pictures, but you do have pictures.
Yes, yes.
And so why did you go to federal prison?
Okay.
What's the
So
reasoning for that?
I was talking to my therapist. You know, I have schizophrenia, right? And I was upset about Obama, and he was elected president. So he was the president-elect, okay? So he made a speech saying that we cannot follow the Bible. You know, we cannot turn the other cheek. That cannot be the foreign policy for, you know, the U.S. And, you know, he says, oh, you know, then you guys got to go stone all the homosexuals and all the deviants, you know. So I got really upset, and I told my therapist, you know, I should, you know, think about him as the Antichrist. So if I got a slingshot and I shot him in the neck and he came back to life, then that would prove my point that he's the Antichrist. Okay? So my
Which
therapist...
is a very bad idea.
Yes. So,
On all fronts.
okay, so my therapist reported me, and about 2 weeks later, the Secret Service shows up at my house, and they do a search over here.
Okay.
And they find a SKS semi-automatic rifle with 300 rounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very serious.
Now, this is registered under my wife. Okay?
Okay.
So it's legit. So they confiscate that. Next thing I know, I'm at the Secret Service headquarters at the federal building, being booked, and I never was given a Miranda or anything of that sort.
Okay.
So next thing I know, I'm railroaded, and I'm facing 5 years prison, plus for every round of bullets, I had 300 rounds, 1 year in prison.
Interesting.
So I could only get a public defender. I didn't have any money, right? So I ended up in prison. Judge not Happy Gilmore, but Helen Gilmore. You know that movie, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Shout out to Adam Sandler.
Yeah. Yeah, so she sentences me and says, "You're a threat to the free world. I sentence you to 18 months in prison." And unfortunately, that was the year that the Saints got into the Super Bowl. So I didn't have a good time.
Oh, you don't like the Saints?
No, I'm a Saints fan from 96.
Oh, I see. So,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just, right,
Yeah.
you missed out.
I missed out. Yeah. I mean, you know, I was in prison. I couldn't enjoy myself.
Yeah.
You know. And then my mother died in 2010. And then Kulani got married in 2010. So one incident, I was able to visit my mom for the last time. She had pancreatic cancer. And I was able to attend Kulani's wedding. You know, I could give her away.
Okay.
But as soon as I did that, I was taken back to the halfway house. Yeah. So that's what happened to me.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So since then,
Yeah.
how has, life progressed for you? Because,
Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're going through schizophrenia, especially
Yeah.
when you're in federal prison.
Right.
So it's even worse because you have other inmates that are probably not completely sane,
Right.
But for yourself, you're
Yeah.
hearing voices.
Yes.
It's already confusing.
Right.
So getting out of that
Yeah.
situation, because that's
Yeah.
probably a miserable year.
Well, I'm telling you, the first thing is I'm stripped naked, and I'm put in what they call the special holding unit,
Interesting.
and that's reserved for like 30 days in the hole kind of thing.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm locked there. I'm not getting medication. I start seeing stuff like spiders and all kinds of stuff crawling on the walls and the shower and everything.
That's terrible, though. Stripped naked, too.
Yeah, stripped naked, man.
Huh.
And then, of course, no phone privileges, no Bible. I asked for a Bible, pen or pencil. I didn't have that, And then I was getting more thoughts on writing the book. but I couldn't do that. I was even, in fact, banned from writing about my prison experience. But you know what? I never signed a contract that said I would never do it. You know, so that's up, open in the air right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, the food there was my biggest complaint. Okay, we didn't get citrus. Okay, we got basically starch. Okay, we got fed starch. So there, if you got sick, you were in big trouble. If you got a cut on your finger and it got infected, you're in big trouble. I stayed on two different floors. So I think the third floor I stayed, the showers. Okay, you're required to take a shower every day. Okay. So the third floor, it was absolutely cold water.
Okay.
When I went to the fifth floor, it was boiling hot water. I could never get the, nice.
The medium.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And every day you fear for getting hurt or getting raped. Those two things goes through your mind every day. So you're under a lot of stress. So a lot of guys, they work out to relieve themselves of the stress.
Right.
But I was so depressed, thinking of, now I got a prison ministry that I didn't ask for, Lord. What am I doing here, Lord? So every day I pray, get me out, faster, Lord, faster. Never happened. So my nickname, okay, the prison guard gave me a nickname, and the nickname was Slingshot.
Okay.
So
Slingshot.
Miyashiro became Slingshot. That was my nickname.
Mark Slingshot Miyashiro.
There you go.
Got it.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah.
Slingshot because of your comment that got you in there?
In
Okay.
there. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So everybody around there called you Slingshot, even
Right.
the guards.
Oh, especially the guards.
the guards called you Slingshot.
Yeah. But everybody else called me uncle because I was 55 years old. And you know what? When they intake you, they go, oh, this brother, number of tattoos. Yeah, they were like, wow, everybody had tattoos.
Yeah, because they're probably surprised how you got there.
Right.
In
I mean,
prison.
when I got there, as soon as I walked into general population, everybody laughed.
Okay.
They laughed when I walked in. So they all wanted to know what the true scoop of the story was. Because they saw it on TV. All the stuff that I went through. Yeah. So once again, I emphasize the fact you could get hurt because one time there was this one guy, he was in the shower, and about 4 guys went mob him and beat him up. He ended up in the infirmary. And so every day, the potential of getting hurt or getting raped, you know what I mean? It's bad news. 18 months, everybody say, piece of cake, piece of cake. Not for me, man. I never been arrested. I never been in prison. I never been to jail. You know what I mean?
But you must have been highly respected because people didn't really approach you in that kind of.
They approached me they laughingly said, "So
Right.
Uncle, what's the story on you?
Yeah.
Uncle Slingshot.
Yeah.
What's the story on you?"
But you must have had good respect because now people didn't go mob you while you were showering or.
But the first 3 months, I was going to write a book called "The Man Without a Pillow."
Okay.
I never have on pillow for 3 months, bro.
Okay.
And then I never have on extra towel. And my bunkie, I asked him, I can borrow your towel because he had 3 towels.
Okay.
And he said, bro, I want to use that to wipe my balls, man. I don't think you want my towel, bro. So, no,
Well, in jail anything goes. You know what I mean? So you gotta tell them that.
And then it's federal prison, yeah.
Okay.
So, wow, you're forced to go to work. So even though I had mental illness, I was forced to work in the kitchen from 5 to 10 o'clock. Every day, no more day off. 7 days a week. And I was getting paid 26 cents an hour.
Okay.
So the money would go into my commissary account. And then my mom would scrape together whatever money she could to put into my account so that I could buy stamps. I could use the phone. Yeah, and then I was limited to who was available to to visit me because I had to know their social security numbers.
Okay.
So they're real strict about visitors. That every time you go have a visit, strip down, spread them, bend over. I mean, you're humiliated in prison. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. It's no fun. Even if it was 18 months, it's no fun, man. So that's what happened to me.
So let's kind of lay everything out here for
Okay.
people. So you went to Kaimuki High School,
Right.
went to UH Manoa, pursued a television, telecommunications
Right.
route,
Right.
worked at, KHON2 News,
KITV,
KITV,
KI,
Olelo,
Olelo,
KI, for
yeah.
26 years.
HMTV, His Majesty's Television, which is the mayor.
I never heard of that one before.
Yeah, HMTV.
HMTV.
Yeah,
Okay.
we nickname His Majesty's TV.
Okay.
Now, one day I was hired by Olelo, paying $15 an hour to shoot Frank Fosse. And you know what? Jeremy Harris was the campaign
It's
manager.
not that much. $15 a day.
No, but this is back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I came out there to shoot a story. Jeremy Harris said, "Put down the camera and pick up a sign. You can stand on the street corner and wave signs for Frank Fosse."
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so all that,
Yeah.
you worked media 26 years, then
Right.
you went to federal prison. So you had this.
No. Then after that, I was doing all kinds of side jobs. I was doing I was selling dog food. I was a parking lot attendant. I held signs for this guy who buy houses for cash. I did all kinds of side jobs.
So after being in media, then you just
Right.
did a bunch of side jobs.
Right.
Then you went to federal prison
Mm-hmm.
for 18 months.
Right.
Then you got out.
Right.
When was this when you were able to get out? From
2010, I believe.
2010.
But I was 3 years probation. So I had a probation officer that would come, and she wouldn't call. She would come
Okay.
and do a drug test on me,
Okay.
trying to catch me, doing drugs.
All right.
Yeah.
And you went to an outpatient clinic after, right? Federal
Yes.
prison. So you went
Yes.
to.
I went over here, Kaneohe. The same place that
Okay.
sent me to prison. I went over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And from there, how long?
Yeah.
How long was that period? From maybe coming out of prison,
Right,
going
right.
into like a drug rehab clinic, like an outpatient clinic.
Yeah.
How long was that process?
I don't know, at least 3-4 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
3-4 years.
Yeah.
So all that
Yeah.
while having schizophrenia.
Right. Still have.
Still have. How does that? I mean, what is it? How do you keep going then from there? Because then, like, there's so much life experience there.
Right.
But then you kind of hit a point where it's like when you go to federal prison, how do you
Right.
like motivate yourself to keep doing things?
You
it's-
don't feel like doing anything,
Okay.
especially exercising.
Well, not in prison.
Yeah, in prison.
No, aside from that,
Right.
now
Yeah.
talking about like today.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
there's so.
Now for 10 years I couldn't get a job.
Okay.
So when COVID hit, and after the thing, all that transpired and all that.
Yeah.
So in March, I got a job at Goen Restaurant as a dishwasher. Now I hadn't done dishwashing
Nice
since
restaurant, by the way.
1968. But hey, it was a skill I knew. I go there. You know what? It was way harder than I thought. The garbage bags of the slop was too heavy for an old man like me to carry. So the nice young boys who are cooks and stuff, they would
Yeah.
help me throw away the trash. So I did that for I don't know 2 months or something.
Why not go back into media?
No, I had enough.
You had enough.
I had my fill. The stress. One of the worst things for schizophrenics is to get stress. Now, we get so much stress in like KGMB or television station. We get more stress in what, 30-minute broadcast. Then people get the whole week.
Really? Why is that?
Huh? You got to do perfect. You know, my whole time I was at KGMB, the 6.5 years I was there, I only made one mistake. I put color bars on the air.
Okay.
Only one mistake in 6.5 years. That's all.
So what was your job there?
I was technical director.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did the newscast, you know, effects one, camera one, you know, all that stuff. I was the just like the crew chief. So we had, you know, cameraman, audio, what they had Chiron, you know, the character generator, and then they had still stores, you know, the Atom machine, you know, and then in between newscasts we would edit promos and documentaries. That's what we did in between. Yeah. So I had 3 jobs, you know. I worked from KGMB from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. Okay. Then on weekends, I shot video. I shot weddings and parties on weekends.
Okay.
And then weekdays, not every day, but weekdays, I did editing and shooting, editing for Chinese Community Broadcasting and shooting for Olelo. And back in those days, they paid us $15 an hour.
Okay.
Now, I was only making $8 an hour at KGMB. So $15 an hour was, wow, this is great news for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we didn't have work every day, but I did work 3 jobs. Yeah.
So let's fast forward to now.
Right,
Because
right.
a lot of that stuff,
Pow.
already.
All right.
You already working on basically 5 books.
Right,
already.
right.
Kind of going back to my question, how do you keep progressing? Because then there's so much life experience there.
Right.
And then for yourself, you're kind of going back into comedy as well.
Right.
A lot older.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Back in like, people can look back at 2004. You did stand up there.
Yeah.
What keeps you going? What kind of motivation?
Well, you know, back then, I did stand up at a Waikiki restaurant bar. It was an open mic night.
Right.
And the headliner was Gabriel Iglesias, Fluffy.
Right.
So after I did my 5-minute, 10-minute, whatever,
Okay.
he said to me, you know what you should do, my brother, is you tell him just a little bit and add more and more and build more and more and more. That's how he did comedy. That's what he coached me, doing comedy. Yeah. But, you know, also when I plan to do a show, 30 minutes, okay, hopefully I get hired for bar mitzvah or yakudoshi or, you know,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, or some kind of function.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll make a fundraiser for Mental Health Hawaii, you know, do a fundraiser for them, or Clubhouse, you know, do a fundraiser for them, you know. But also included is I try to tell people that no give up like me. Be hard-hit, no give up. Try to go around your situation, your obstacle. Yeah, no give up. You know, Okinawans hard-head. They don't listen. Yeah. And Japanese said gaman, yeah, to bear it.
To bear it.
Right?
Yeah.
To in Hawaiian what? Onipa'a, steadfast.
Onipa'a.
Yeah. And then Hawaiians also say ekalamai, excuse me. So I forgot to say that in the beginning. Ekalamai. If I offended you, I'm sorry I offended you. Kuespecially the Jewish community, when they say, oh, you eat pork. How dare you eat pork? You know what I mean? I mean, I have a Kuhil Grill t-shirt that I have online, and it shows pig feet soup.
Okay.
That's the picture on the front, and it says...
Why are you wearing a Jewish garment?
yeah, you understand.
That's
I get my
terrible.
kippah, right? Or some people call it a yarmulke.
Yeah.
And then this is the prayer shawl, yeah, called the talit. Yeah? So that's what I wear for my act.
While wearing the Kuhio Grill.
No. Okay. That's I have 37 designs online. That's another one of my things that I have.
Okay.
Yeah, so the 5th book I'm working on is called Paper Terrorists. So Paper Terrorists is about the story. This is a nonfiction about me fighting the IRS for 13 years. So the problem was I landed up in prison. And what I would do is use the IRS code against the IRS. So this went on for 13 years. But I got locked up. So I couldn't do the letters with the IRS.
Wait, so you went to prison twice? Then?
No. I went to prison, not for tax evasion or anything to do with taxes, but for 13 years, since 96, I did argument with the IRS. They would tell me, you're going to have a lien or whatever, and I would say, this is in violation of your code. I use only their code to defend myself.
So, but you went to prison for the comment you
Obama.
made about Obama.
Yeah, right.
But did you? So you didn't go to prison for your tax? Okay.
No.
Okay.
So I'm working on this book called The Paper Terrorist.
Okay.
So the IRS called me the Paper Terrorist. So I took that name and I'm working on the book right now. It's my 5th book that I'm working on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, kind of circling back to the question
Right.
I was asking.
Right.
I mean, and you kind of answered it too. You said Okinawans hothead,
Yeah.
hard-headed,
Yeah.
keep going.
Right.
Well, how do you progress from there? How do you grow from that? Because there's, like, for myself, I'll tell you, like, for myself, I'm always
Yeah.
trying to figure out how to grow as a person,
Yeah.
especially for different circumstances, whether or
Yeah.
not I'm trying to learn from others,
Yeah.
trying to discover more.
Yeah.
But how do you grow from that? Because you've grown a lot already,
Right.
especially having to deal with schizophrenia.
Right.
Basically the diagnosis from your 40s, right? Because you were saying
Yeah.
you had it when you were 17,
Right.
but then you got diagnosed in your 40s.
Right.
How do you keep progressing? How do you grow from that? Because then
That is only because of the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Ghost. If not for the Holy Ghost, the anointing that I feel, the Shekinah glory from God, the mercy, the endless mercy that God shows me. Because in the book of Isaiah, I say, I'm a man with unclean lips. Okay? And then Proverbs 8, if you read the King James Version of Proverbs 8, there's a line that says, God will grant you witty inventions. So he's been granting me, like I gave you the kimchi mizuna,
yeah,
the 37 t-shirt designs. The 5th book, right? So God's been showing me mercy and grace. I attribute it to Hashem, which is God. Or in the book of Daniel, he's called the Ancient of Days. And since I'm a Messianic Jew, I believe in Yeshua. You guys know him as Jesus. I believe he came, he died, he rose again. His blood was shed for my remission of my sins. So the shul, the synagogue that I attend, were made up of Jews and Messianic believers. So in February, my rabbi will give me a certificate for being a Messianic Jew. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, tons of life experience there.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, you're hardhead, but I think in a lot of ways, that's helped you to progress.
Yeah.
To get through certain situations. I think
Yeah.
it's a triumph that you've had schizophrenia for
Right.
a long time, but then you're able to weave in and out of things, and even with judgment, you're able to kind of put that behind you in a way,
Yeah.
and then to just move forward.
Yeah.
That's kind of a shirt that Kelsey and I have. We have a shirt called the Japanese word "move forward." What's the word? Well, Kelsey's gonna go find it.
Okay.
Right? But Cherry Blossom Festival.
Yes.
My cousin actually was in the Cherry Blossom Festival,
Yes.
so she had those shirts with the word on it. I can't think of
Yes.
the word. I think it's like starts with a Z or anything. What is it? Zenshin. Right. So you have sort of this Zenshin kind of vibe about you to move forward,
Yes.
to keep going. What is there left, though?
Well, I want to incorporate in my comedy the 30 minutes that I hope I get hired.
Okay.
Is to talk a little bit about, what I noticed at Costco is, people, basically, I greet them, I say, good morning, how you doing? And, You know, oh, you have a nice shirt. Oh, that's a beautiful dress that you wear. Okay. What I'm trying to show them is I might not be the greatest salesman, but I'm trying to show a relationship that they would begin to trust me as a salesman. You know what I mean? That people basically want to be recognized. They want to feel that they're significant, that they're important, that they can make a difference. And that's what I want to encourage people that, you know, I have bronchiosthesis, which means only one lung. It's a rare lung disease. I also have Parkinson's, so I have difficulty. You saw me fall in the bushes over here, right? I lost my balance from the Parkinson's. You know what I mean? And then, you know, I had a drinking problem. I was even homeless in 2014. My wife threw me out. So I was homeless for a period of time. So I stayed in my car. People would allow me to go take a shower at their house. My dad wouldn't allow me to stay with him. So I finally got into next step. So I didn't have an air mattress, so I slept on the concrete floor. And I found out that lay down cardboard is a little bit, you know, easier on the body. Yeah, so I've been homeless. I've been in prison. I have schizophrenia. I have Parkinson's.
Yeah, a lot of things against you.
Yes. But you know what? If you can overcome the situation, but I give all credit to the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, the Holy Ghost. He enables me to endure. You know, some days I don't feel like going to work. Some days I don't even want to live. You know, like I went to the mainland twice since this COVID thing. You know, I asked God, let the plane crash. I like die already. That's how bad my situation is. But somehow I made a promise to my wife that I wouldn't kill myself because, again, from when I was 14 and then back in 1988, I tried to kill myself too with the pills and the antidepressants. So, you know, I've been through a lot. The latest therapist, but I fired him, said to me that you just one trauma after the other. There's just endless. You can tell me story after story. You know, like my mom, she never told me she loved me. You know, and then one last thing I want to bring up. Okay, when I was at KHI TV, there was this blonde girl, 5'7", green eyes. Her name was Susan. Okay, so I don't know. I talked to her for about 6 months. You know, then finally I got the courage to ask her out. So guess what happened? She tells me, okay, let's have lunch. So I'm all happy, you know. I finally get to date this girl, right? So we go to her boyfriend's restaurant. He's the bartender, right? I order my meal. She orders her meal, right? And then the bad news. She could have just told me, you know what, Mark, I don't like date you. That would have been fine. No, I had to go pay for the meal and I couldn't eat. So I know a lot about rejection. You know, she never went out with me, and that kind of like stifled my whole idea of, you know, dating blondes now.
Okay.
Yeah, even though I have a weakness for them.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So just being able to move forward and
Yes.
overcome situations.
Yes.
I think in a lot of ways that's something that anybody can relate to.
Yes.
Even me. I mean, for myself, you guys seen me when I broke my
Right.
leg.
Right.
I had
Two
broke-
legs. 2 legs.
well, I only broke one leg. So I broke my leg in 3 different places.
Oh, yeah.
You know, tibia, fibula. I always get the name mixed up. Maybe
Right.
Is it fibia or fibula? Oh, fibula. See, I always get it mixed up.
Yeah.
Anyway, both tibia and fibula broke.
Yeah.
I had emergency surgery.
Right.
Had to overcome that. Had a lot of trust. Had to trust in God to get
Right.
me healed.
Right.
I just remember during that time I didn't doubt His healing. I didn't doubt anything.
Yes.
I was sad. I remember there was one day I was sad that I was going through that.
Yes.
But it wasn't because I was going through that. It was because I knew what my wife would have to do to help me.
Yes.
That's why I was sad.
Yes.
And but I was. Other than that, I was able to just kind of push forward and overcome. So I understand the whole process of getting through that. Yours is a lot more to overcome because it's a lifelong thing. Schizophrenia,
Yes.
Parkinson's,
Yeah.
a lot of diseases, a lot of traumas, but
Boils.
but
Yeah.
a lot of, in a way, it's inspirational because you're still
Standing.
and you're pushing forward and you're
Yes.
working on your books,
Yes.
comedy,
Yes.
and you're continuing to press forward and to continue on. So, I think this is a good way to just kind of wrap things up
Right,
because
right.
honestly,
Yes.
people can relate. I hope people can relate to your story and
Yes.
what you've gone through. And
Maybe later on you can insert some of my T-shirt designs if that's possible.
yeah, that's why
Yeah.
YouTube comments and cards are there, so we can put the links. You just send me the links and I'll.
Well, I
I'll put
have
it.
the designs right over there.
You want to show the designs?
Well, you can insert it later, right? As you edit.
Well, we can show it now.
You sure?
Yeah, you can show it now. So for the audio listeners,
Yeah.
you won't see this, but
Yeah.
unless you watch the video. Anyway, these are some of your designs. So you
Yeah.
wanna
This
talk about
is
them?
this is my New Year's design. I just did for 2022.
I can hold it.
Yeah. And then the whole line is called Spiritual Warfare Apparel.
Okay.
And this is my first design. It's Samson with the jawbone of a ass.
Okay.
So that's this one.
Who drew these? Did you draw these?
I get them done. I get the idea and I get some artists to do it for me.
Okay.
And then this one is called Devil, I Rewind You. Okay.
I like this one.
Yeah. That was my first one.
Okay.
And then my last one I brought here is I used to belong to this group called Americans for a Moral Nation.
Okay.
And pictured here is a family praying. So those are examples of my 37 designs.
Wow. Incredible.
Yeah.
See, that just kind of sums up exactly what I was saying about you pushing forward and
Yes.
still doing things. I
Yes.
mean, that's awesome.
Yes.
And I'm happy that you're able to overcome, and I hope people get the story about what you've gone through. Maybe
Yes.
some people can relate. I don't know if
Yes.
they can relate with everything because that's a
Yeah.
lot of life experience,
Yeah.
but I think somebody can relate to the struggles, maybe schizophrenia, maybe being judged.
Right. Right.
I think that's a big one too because there's a lot of judgment going on social media. There's in the world today. So, Mark,
Yes.
besides your shirts, what else are you pursuing?
I have this anti-COVID device.
Okay,
I'm selling these. Yeah.
anti-COVID device.
Yes.
How does that work?
This is they got an award from NASA.
Okay,
So this is the portable unit. There's 3 units. So they took this, they released in a room the COVID virus, and in 3 minutes it was eradicated.
interesting.
So I sell this online.
Looks like the old T-Mobile flip phones, kind of.
Yeah.
because I had one. That's why it looks.
And
just
then
like
I
that.
also sell plants from my house,
right.
veggie plants.
Yep.
Yeah, I give it a Mizuna
Yeah,
and
for my birthday.
you know
right?
all the different vegetables. I go to like roadside and sell the plants, and I do delivery available.
Mhm.
And let me see.
Can they hit you up on like Facebook?
I can.
Or you have a website?
Yeah, I can give you that information later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll put it in. But yeah, I think this is a good point to
In the story.
end the story. But I mean, it's not the end for your story. You're still
Right.
continuing. I mean,
Yes.
that's awesome.
Yes.
So one thing we like to do at the end
Yes,
is
yes. Kampai?
we do a kampai.
Okay.
Yeah. We have tea for those who are wondering what's inside the glass.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna. Okay, I see. She wants the shirt.
Okay.
Okay, there you go. So we can kampai with our tea,
Okay.
and Mark, this is to
Yes.
you. This is to, first of all, being able to overcome so many things,
Yes.
and this is also to your future, 2022. What's in
Yes.
store for you?
Yes.
Because I think it's going to be a prosperous year.
Yes.
I always think that,
Yes.
which is probably why great things happen. So
Yes.
just stay positive, and also for those people at home, stay positive as well.
Yes.
And let's cheers to a great 2022.
All right.
Kampai.
Kampai. And Hebrew is lakaim.
Lakain.
Lakaim.
That
To
sounds-
life. To life.
That sounds kind of pigeon. Lakain.
Yeah.
Lakain.
Lakaim.